Hi everybody, welcome to episode 15 of the Coffee Yarn and Dinosaurs podcast. My name is Ruth, and this is a podcast that's primarily about knitting, but there's also sometimes some crochet thrown in, some spinning, even though there hasn't been spinning for a while, some knitwear design, and hand-dyed yarn. So I have some of just about all of those today for you, except for crochet. There's no crochet, I don't think. So there's also a bus update at the end of every single podcast because my husband and I are converting a school bus into a tiny house that we are going to take around the country like an RV and figure out where we want to live. So we are going to be nomads for a while once the bus is converted. So if you hear me talking about the bus, that's what I'm talking about. It's a school bus. Yes, it's full size. There's more details at the end of the video. So I'm gonna go ahead and get started because this is the first day in a long time that it's been sunny and the kids have been all asleep and it's ridiculous. So you guys might notice, yeah, my hair is up today. Usually I have my hair down. I try to be all like well put together. I'm a little shiny in the camera. But to be honest, I'm trying to be a little more realistic with you guys because once we're in the bus, I'm probably not going to be all fancy all day, and I'm usually not all fancy. I usually get like dressed up for you guys to do the podcast because I'm a stay-at-home mom. So jeans and t-shirts are kind of my uniform, but I just wanted to be real with you guys because this is what I look like in real life. And yes, I don't have a great complexion. I'm a little self-conscious about it. It's part of the reason why I've put off podcasting for so long for the past couple of weeks is because I've been not too happy with how I looked and I didn't want to be on camera like that. But I've come to the conclusion that this is who I am, and you'll probably see a lot more of me being me in the future, especially once we're on the bus. So yeah, I've been like this since I was 13, 15, something like that. It's something I'm self-conscious about, and it's something I'm gonna have to get over if I want to keep doing podcasts. So today is Tuesday, February 27th, and I'm coming to you from Philadelphia, where I currently live with my husband, my two sons, my newborn daughter, who's almost 3 months old, by the way. Ridiculous, and my brother-in-law. I'm gonna jump right in and start with FOs because who knows how long the kids are gonna sleep. Today I am drinking just regular coffee. It is the Starbucks house blend, and instead of creamer I tried putting in maple syrup, not the corn syrup kind but the actual real maple syrup kind, and a little bit of milk because I am trying to make better life choices, and part of that includes not dumping a quarter cup or something of creamer into my coffee because I would like to make healthier choices. So one of those is gonna hopefully be for the future using more natural sweeteners as a way to get myself away from the creamer. And then once I have the habit of doing that, I'm going to wean myself off the amount of sugar that I'm putting in. Because I want to be healthier. And I'm going to do it step by step because this is a total tangent and a total side note. But I've found that in the past when I try doing like whole 30 days of completely changing your diet really fast, I crash and burn very quickly. I am not cut out for that. I am not cut out for quick extreme changes. So I'm going to try to take steps to better. And I just realized, hang on, that's the lens. Okay, I am using a new camera today. It's not new, it's a hand-me-down phone, but it's new to me. And I just realized that I wasn't sure which dot on the phone was the lens and which one was the flash. So I just wanted to make sure I'm actually looking at you guys and not looking at the flash if the lens is higher or lower. So that's what I'm drinking. So my first FO is in my little Laughing Stitches bag, and I actually won this in a prize drawing from the girls in the Yarn Cafe. Did a, oh my gosh, the FO isn't in here. Well, anyway, I won the bag because the girls in the Yarn Cafe were doing a shorty socks knit along, and this was the prize. But my first FO is not in there. Goodness. Which means I'm not gonna have any FOs to hold up in front of you guys because I don't know where they are. But I'll put in a picture. The first thing I finished is a pair of little tiny baby socks for my daughter, and I used my Cobble socks pattern. And the yarn is Dragon Horde yarn in Drop That Beat and Playful Pascal, and it was really fun. I'm not just tooting my own horn. I actually really love that pattern, and I really I want to knit some for myself now. But I really like using it with speckled yarns because it gives that little pop of color. And let's see, what was I gonna say? Oh, it used up so little yarn. It was something like 10 or 15 grams of yarn for the entire pair of baby socks to fit a 3-month-old. So I think I'm probably going to be knitting a bunch more of those just because I have tons of sock yarn scraps, and sure, I could knit a beekeeper's quilt, which I have like 200 hexapuffs sitting upstairs, or I could do a cozy memories blanket, or I could do a crochet granny blanket or whatever, but I would like to be able to use them for something functional. You know, I mean, not that a blanket isn't functional, but who of us hasn't made a million blankets at this point, who hasn't knit or crocheted a million blankets? So if you guys have any ideas, do you have any ideas for me, please, of patterns that work really well with sock yarn scraps? I would love to know if you can just pop that in the comments, because I'm always looking for whether it's 5 grams, 10, or maybe that leftover, you know, maybe 30 grams of sock yarn after you knit a pair of socks, and then you have 30 grams left over and you're like, well, now what do? I've got 30 grams of sock yarn. I can't make a full pair of socks. I guess I could knit a pair of kid socks, but you know what I mean. That leftover little cake or little ball. So if you have suggestions, please pop them in the comments. I'm on the hunt. I would like to know. So that's my first FO. And my second one is I decided to participate in Hunter Hammersen's Palpitation knit along. And Palpitation is a pattern that she put out for Valentine's Day. And it was a very small, little hexapuff sized heart, just a little palm sized heart. And I thought it was really cute. And me being me, I was like, I don't know if I want to knit it that small. And then I jumped over to the knit along thread and I saw that she said, oh, we're giving out prizes for the smallest one, the biggest one, and whoever makes the most. And me being me, I thought, let's make the biggest heart possible. So, I made a 26-inch stuffed heart pillow. And I'm not gonna go get it because it's right next to where the baby is sleeping right now. I took a video already and I'm gonna pop it in right here so you guys can see how big it is. Hi everybody, it's Ruth from the past. I didn't want to bring out this gigantic heart to show you guys, so I'm just gonna show you it now. Look how big this thing is. It's massive. So this is the first heart that I knit for the Palpitation knit along. Whoa, look at my face, I'm so blown out. Okay, this is the first heart that I knit for the Palpitation knit along. And I will insert the yarn that I used and the needle size. I believe I used US 15s or 13s. But as you can see, because I was a dingbat and I used single ply yarn, it's already very pilly and fluffy. And I was just using this for stash busting, but definitely now I know for the future, single ply yarn, like it's super soft and it's super squishy, but really not the ideal plan for knitting a stuffed thing. So this is my Palpitation. Back to your regularly scheduled podcast. Pretty massive, right? It's really big, but I'm so glad that I did it that big because my kids love it. The boys toss it around, they play catch with it, they lay on it to read a book. It fits around your neck like a travel pillow, so you can just lean back. It's so comfy. It's so squishy. The only thing I regret is that I knit it out of single ply yarn held together, so like you saw, it's really fuzzy and it's really not going to last very long. So, reaching down to clear stuff out of my bin that I put together for the podcast, I decided to use more stash yarn and knit another one, because who doesn't need another giant heart, right? So here it is on the needles. There we go. Gotta hold it up like that to get it to fit into the whole frame. So the increases stop here. So it's probably going to be about the same width as the other one. It's probably going to be about 25 inches wide. And I'm almost at the part where you separate for either side of the heart. And this is using 3 strands held together of Premier Yarns Puzzle. So this is a 100% acrylic yarn, and it's technically bulky weight, but it's a very light bulky weight. So 3 strands held together. And these are size 15, so they're 10 millimeter needles. And I have to say, it's a little bit rough on the hands, purely because you want to knit something stuffed at a tight enough gauge that the stuffing isn't going to come out of it when you're using it. But 3 strands of bulky weight, it's a little tight. It's a little hard on the hands. And I think I find bulky weight hard on my hands anyway because I'm so used to using fingering weight lately. This past year, honestly, I've knitted mostly fingering weight. I've done a lot of socks, a lot of shawls. I did that one DK weight sweater for myself, but for the most part, I've been knitting fingering weight. So to jump over to 3 strands of bulky weight on 15s, it's just not what my hands are used to, so my hands hurt from knitting it. So I'm working on that. Hopefully that'll be done soon. I think this entire first half of it only took me maybe 2 days or 3. It's a really fast pattern. It's really cute. But anyway, the first one ended up being the biggest for the knit along, so I win a skein of Malabrigo, which is exciting because I have only knit with Malabrigo once. So I chose a skein of sock yarn, and I have a design in mind for it, and I'm really excited, obviously. Can you tell it's a good day today, and I have coffee, and the kids are sleeping, dancing and singing. That's me. Anyway, I'm sure you guys think I'm insane. That's fine. I probably am. Next whip. So this is funny. Trysten from Dragon Horde Yarn, who is one of the girls in the Yarn Cafe, recently put out this super cute cabled beanie pattern, and it is called the Wanderwood beanie. And I'm gonna insert a picture of Trysten wearing it so you can see what it's supposed to look like. Picture here. And now I'm going to show you mine, because this is going to be a little amusing. Oh, look, the color shows up on the camera. Okay, so here's mine. Yes, that's the purple on this side is more accurate. It's closer to eggplant than it is to this kind of fuchsia. So the pattern calls for DK weight on 6s. And I have never knit a hat out of DK weight. Yes, I have, but it was a baby hat, so I don't have an accurate idea of what the stitch count should be for an adult hat that will fit my head out of DK weight. I think you can see where I'm going with this. So here is, I knit a couple of repeats of it. It's really squishy. It's really pretty. Knit picks. Swish DK in Bordeaux. Oh, that's it. There it is. Swish DK in Bordeaux. And I got this far and I looked at it and I was like, you know, this looks kind of small. Maybe I should try it on. And so I went to try it on, and it's, I can't even get it on my head. Look at this. There you go. If I really try, like really, really hard, I can sort of, oh no, oh no. We're gonna have weird hair for the rest of the episode. I shouldn't have done that. Should have known better. Anyway, I can sort of squeeze it onto my head, but definitely it's not gonna fit as a hat. And so I ran over and Judah, my 2-year-old, was nearby. I was like, Judah, come here, come here, come here. Stuck the hat on his head and it fits on him. So apparently I am knitting a toddler-sized hat. The pattern comes in 1 stitch count. And I messaged Trysten, and she doesn't have the gauge for the hat listed in the pattern. So I messaged her and let her know, and she was like, oh my gosh, oops, that was supposed to be in there, so I'm gonna put it in, which is good. So this is a lesson on why you should check your gauge, and why if you're designing you should include the gauge in the pattern, because apparently there are people like me who have a very different gauge from Trysten. I apparently knit much tighter than she does, and instead of having an adult slouchy sized hat, I currently have a toddler sized hat, which is not helpful for me at all. It's just not. So this is gonna end up being frogged. I'm not sure whether, I really like her pattern, it's really cute. I like the finished product, like how it comes out, but obviously this is not going to fit me. So I'm not sure if I'm going to do it with thicker yarn or with bigger needles or maybe a little bit of both. Not sure. So yeah, this is the Wanderwood beanie. I think Trysten has it on Ravelry as Jenga Knits, I think is her design name. So just to note, it's a cute pattern. There is no gauge, so if you haven't knit a DK weight hat, use common sense when you knit it, and if it looks too small, it probably is. And let's see, what else? There's a couple of symbols missing for the chart decreases. So again, if you use common sense, you'll know what's going on. It's not that the pattern itself is incomplete, it's just that there's a chart with notations for the decreases, and the symbol key below doesn't have them. So, if you're an intelligent human being, you will know what she wants you to do. Or if you look over to the side at the written instructions, you will know what she wants you to do. Just be aware that those things are missing. Other than that, how cute is this pattern? It's adorable. But I'm going to frog it because it doesn't fit my head. So, whip number 2. Funny story. As I mentioned, we're going to be moving into a bus. You don't have a whole lot of space in a bus for stuff. So we've been systematically going through and sort of purging the house. Things that we don't need, things that are non-essential or that we don't want to find a place for are getting donated or, you know, sold or passed on to somebody. And part of that has been going through the kids' toys. And no, I'm not giving away all of them. Kids have so many toys. I swear, I've bought maybe 4 toys in the course of almost 5 years, and they have buckets full. They have buckets full of toys, because when you have kids and they have birthdays, people give you toys, and then your kids don't want to throw any of them away, even if they're broken. Anyway, we are throwing them away or giving them away or whatever. And in the course of that, Elliot, my oldest son, had this huge stuffed dolphin. And we asked him, do you want Dolphin or do you want this big octopus that I knitted him? Because they were both like as big, they're both as big as his body. Sorry, I just had a notification pop up on the screen and I was like, squirrel. So they're both as big as his body, and we're like, do you want the dolphin or the octopus? And he goes, the octopus. And I said, can we give the dolphin away? Yeah, you can give the dolphin away. Give the dolphin away, Mom. I want the octopus. He said he's gonna go live with someone else. Yeah, he can go live with someone else. Okay, cool. Well, of course, within like 2 or 3 weeks of us giving it away, where's my dolphin? I miss my dolphin. I want my dolphin. Oh, my dolphin. And we're like, every time he gets upset, where's my dolphin? I can't find my dolphin. Do you have my dolphin? And I was like, oh my gosh. The fickleness of a 4-year-old, you guys. So anyway, because I'm a sucker, I am knitting him a smaller dolphin. And yes, it's yellow. And yes, I know that dolphins aren't yellow, and I know that they're not yellow and black. But when you say to your 4-year-old, what color would you like your dolphin to be? And he says yellow and black, you knit a yellow and black dolphin. The kid's imaginative, what can I say? So this pattern is literally called Dolphin on Ravelry. I will link to, or I will put in the bottom right here, the designer's name, because she has a ton of really cute animal patterns, and I don't know if they're all knit flat like this, but this one, this is the body and the belly, and so far they're just knit flat. And then I picked up stitches and knit for the flippers, and I'm going to shoot. I think I was supposed to leave a marker on here somewhere for the dorsal fin. I did have a marker. Okay, funny story. I use, my favorite are these little truffle shuffle animal markers, but because they're little animals, my kids love them and they steal them, and it's ridiculous. So I probably did have a marker on the back of this dolphin, and it just got stolen by one of my boys because they do that. I need ugly stitch markers. I just need to use ugly stitch markers. That's clearly the solution. So, anywho, it's mostly done. I need to put on the eyes. I'm going to use safety eyes. Safety eyes, knit the dorsal fin, knit the tail, and sew it up, and it'll be done. It's probably like 1, maybe 2 nights worth of knitting. And I should get on that because he asks me every day, have you finished my dolphin yet? And I'm like, oh, bad mom. No, I haven't. It'll be finished in a little bit. So that's that. The dolphin. Yes! Okay, next, the So Faded pullover. I don't know how much you're gonna be able to see that I've knit on it. Ooh, it stuck stitch marker down. All right, because I have it crammed onto a 16-inch circular because it's funny, this is one of those super cheapo either Boy or Bates needles that you get at a box store, but they are smoother right now, possibly because I've used them a lot. They're smoother than my Knit Picks interchangeables. So I am currently using these, but I only had it in a 16-inch side. So my long cabled needles that are Knit Picks are Knit Picks. I don't have a long number 5. So I'm gonna see if I can show it to you guys. There you go. Wow, this camera is so much better than my old one. This is awesome. So here's the front, and here is where I'm going to do the steek, because this is supposed to be a pullover, and I'm going to be steeking it down the front and picking up stitches for a shawl collar. So I put in just a line. I cast on 7 extra stitches, 2 purl bumps and 5 in the center, because I watch Skein-Deer Knits too, you guys, and Ellie says that you put on 2 purl bumps and 5 knit stitches down the center and it works great. So thanks, Ellie. Not that you're watching this ever, but thanks, Ellie. I'm listening to what you said. And so I'm gonna steek it. So the first color I just finished is Selkie by Yarn Cafe Creations. And I just transitioned into Spooky Spice by Dragon Horde Yarn. I'm not sure if you can see it. It's a little bit better, but not much. You can sort of see the transition, but not really. So it went from a blue-based yarn with speckles to a white-based yarn with speckles. If I hold it back here, oh, there you go. You can see that. Okay, I'll hold it in front of my face so it focuses. There you go. So it's a white-based yarn with green and red and a little bit of gold and a little bit of blue and brown. Very fall colored. So I'm doing that, and I just started that. I'm maybe 6 rows in. And then the next one I will transition to is Molly Weasley, which was a Dragon Horde yarn club colorway. And it's the only time I've ever done a club colorway sight unseen. And I have to tell you guys, this is gorgeous. If she ever puts this back into her shop, I'm snagging like 4 skeins of it, because even though I'm on a yarn diet, because it's gorgeous, and the way it knits up, I want to knit a whole sweater out of this. It's just stunning. And I'm still debating whether I'm going to put it into this fade, into this sweater, because I love it so much that I think I might want to just save it and make myself socks or something. But it's the perfect, it's like the, what do you call it? It's like the keystone of my fade. This is what transitions the whole rest of the sweater. So if I don't use this, my transition is going to be all messy, and I pretty much have to use it. But it's one of those skeins that you hoard and you're like, I'm going to use it forever. I'm going to keep it forever, and I'm never going to use it. But I'm going to use it because we buy yarn to use it, you guys. Just saying. I've started using some of the skeins that I've been hoarding, like the precious ones that you go, oh, I'm never going to use this, it's beautiful, I have to find the perfect project. I'm coming to grips with the fact that sometimes you just use it, and you get more enjoyment from actually using it than you do from hoarding it for the perfect project. Just saying. Maybe this is the perfect project for my Molly Weasley skein. Maybe it is. I'm just saying. I'm waiting for the perfect project. Maybe this is the perfect project because it ties in all the rest of my colors. Perfect project found. Anyway. There's a lot of whips today, you guys. Next whip is, it's in a tiny, tiny bag. Before I started actually making project bags / using them, I made, this is so tiny. Look, oh my gosh, it still has the little cotton string from the price tag on it. It's just a little dinky square. Like it's not lined or anything. This is super, super, super basic. But it works because it holds like 1 skein of sock yarn. So anyway, I am making a pair of Kari slipper socks, which is my bulky weight slipper sock pattern. And so I am using Knit Picks Brava Bulky, which is their 100% acrylic. And for what it is, I really, actually, even not for what it is, I really like it. I like using acrylic for things like slipper socks purely because it wears harder and because you can throw it into the wash when you're done. And she has hardwood floors. The friend that I'm making these for has hardwood floors. So I know that they're going to get shuffled on hardwood, and they're going to get maybe a little bit on rugs, but mostly on hardwood. So I know it's going to be hard on the yarn. So I wouldn't want to make her, you know, single ply merino slipper socks or something like that. And also, this is her favorite color. Oh yeah, that's better. That's, okay. That's a more accurate color back here. Kind of like a dark burgundy. What colorway is it? Wine. The colorway is wine. Which is funny because when I think of wine, I think of more of a purpley colorway. which is what the Bordeaux hat was, which makes sense because Bordeaux is wine. But this is more burgundy. If you can see this, my shirt is kind of purple. It's sort of a, yeah, this is kind of a Bordeaux purple. And this is what they're calling wine, but it's more burgundy. But anyway, Kari slipper socks. She wears a size women's 11 foot, so they're gonna be pretty big. I could make it with one skein of yarn, but she wants them to go a couple inches up the leg. So I am gonna have to break into a second skein of yarn, which is fine because I have 4 of these. And they're going really fast. This, I put things away too quickly. This is me not driving, I was in the passenger seat going to and from church. And I've got a couple of pattern repeats in the toe all the way done, just going to and from church. So I'm pretty pleased with them. They should go pretty quickly. Hopefully you'll see them completed in the next episode. Setting myself up for success here. My last whip I'm very excited about. So this kind of goes into the shop update section, but it's still a whip because I'm knitting with my own yarn that I just dyed. So I did a dye day yesterday, and for a long time I've been wanting to do self-striping sock yarn. And I know how to do it conceptually, but I was really afraid to do it because, you know, what if I mess up? What am I going to do with skeins of yarn if I mess up and they don't work? And what am I going to do with them? I don't know. So I finally, you know, tied them off, got them all set up, did what I needed to do, dyed them yesterday, and the colors are gorgeous. They're gorgeous. I love them so much. They're absolutely beautiful. And so I decided to start knitting up one of the, try not to sneeze. I started knitting up one of the skeins to see what it would look like. And you guys, I forgot how fast vanilla socks go. It's ridiculous. I don't ever knit plain vanilla socks. I think the only pair of vanilla socks I've ever knit was for my dad, which was a 72 stitch sock for a man foot. So even though they went fast, it felt like it was taking forever. So this is a 62 stitch sock. Look at that. Check out those colors, you guys. I love it. So I was going for big stripes. You know, like the thick stripes and the big gobstopper balls that you see everybody using, and oh, they're so pretty. And you know, I was trying to be one of the cool kids. Like, let's just be honest, I was trying to be one of the cool kids, and I did not wind the skein long enough to get multiple row stripes. But check out this awesome micro striping. So there's 4 different colors, and you get like 1 to 1.5 rows of every color on a 62 stitch sock, because I counted, I'm getting about 75 stitches per color. So even if I was knitting man socks, you would still get a full round of each color. So you would still get the micro striping on men's socks, which is awesome. I'm so happy. Guys, this is, when you make, you know how you try to do something and you fail and you feel like an idiot? That was me last night. I was really upset. I was pretty much crying because I was so upset. I felt like I had tried to do something and I had failed at it. And, you know, most of the time I can try to take that as a win, try to take it as a learning experience, but I was really upset. Also, when you have like new kids and you're not getting much sleep, it happens. Emotions, you know, you go a little crazy. But anyway, I was like, I'm gonna knit it up, and I'm just gonna show people, and I'm just gonna do it. And I'm really happy, guys. I'm really, really happy with how this looks, because it's still stripes. Even though they aren't as thick as I wanted them to be, it's still stripes. And P.S., they're freaking gorgeous. They're gorgeous. And it's so much fun to knit because every single row you get a different color. So I'm sitting here and I don't want to put them down because it's like, ooh, I'm going to go on to the next color. Ooh, I'm going to go on to the next color. I'm almost at the next yellow stripe. I'm almost at like, it's really fun. I'm really excited. And now I'm looking at all the other skeins and I'm like, oh my gosh, I want to keep all of these for myself. But I'm going to put them in the shop. I'm going to be good. I'm going to put the skeins in the shop. I am not going to keep all of the stripes for myself, though I may want to. So this is my new BFL sock base, which is exciting. Look at this. Look at it. Look at it. This is 400 yards of fingering weight yarn. It's 75% superwash BFL, 25% nylon. So it is perfect for socks. It's perfect for socks. BFL is not as soft as merino, but it is not scratchy by any stretch of the imagination. It's just less, you don't touch it and go, ooh, it's so soft, like cashmere. You know the difference between kind of merino and cashmere? That's sort of the difference between merino and BFL. It's not scratchy. It's still very soft and very comfy. It's just it's different. It's a different breed of sheep, so it's just not quite as soft as merino. But self-striping, micro-striping, BFL sock yarn. You want to see the other colors? Because I want to show you the other colors. All right, so color number 1. Pink and pink and pink and pink. It's 3 pinks and a purple. And they'll be in order from light to dark. So you get 3 stripes of pink and then 1 stripe of purple. And this is going to be alternating gray and purple. So, and that's not a bare spot. That is where it transitions. It just looks bare on the camera. Gray, so it'll go purple, gray, pink, gray in a line. And these are going to have names, but I haven't named them yet. So I can't tell you what they're named because they don't have names. And these 2 are sister skeins. I just changed out pink for purple. This one is like a hot fuchsia pink. And bright violet with bright emerald green. I love these super saturated colors, like the really, really bright, saturated. I love them. So there's those 2. And then there's a couple of darker ones. This is, woohoo, that's just the string for tying stuff together to keep it from tangling. This is my vintage Americana colorway turned into self-striping. So it's navy blue and 3 shades of brown. So kind of like the pink one, this goes light to dark brown and then a stripe of navy blue. And then this one, I love this. It's burgundy and kind of an emeraldy green and chestnut brown and black. And back to the bright colors, 2 greens, a yellow and a silver. Yep, and this, guys, this like lime green, it's killer. I want a whole skein of it. Like I just want a whole skein of it to use because I love it so much. And then, look at this. This one's going to be called Volcano, and I know 100% for sure that it's going to be called Volcano because that's just what it is. It's silver gray, burnt orange, bright, bright red, and black. And I love that. And then the last one is my favorite. And I want to keep it, but I will probably put it in the shop anyway. I think I'm gonna call it 70s pants because it reminds me of 70s colors with the burnt orange and the lime, and this Yeah, you can see it. It's like a deep turquoise and just tan. I love this so much. And it's really funny because if, like, maybe before dyeing yarn, if I had looked at this, I'm not gonna lie, I would have been like, that's so ugly. Why does she like that? That's so ugly. And it's something about, I mixed my dyes to make these colors. So some of the colors, like the bright pink and the green, they are a color that I bought and I scooped it out of the container and I put it in the pot and I just did it. Like, yes, I vary how strong or how weak the color is, but it was a shade that I had and I put in and I used it and I love it. But these are not shades that I scooped out. This is me mixing my colors together, and I love the result of experimenting and mixing colors together. I just think it's gorgeous and I love it so much. So those are new colorways that are going into the shop. But speaking of the shop, I have an announcement to make. I'm going to be separating my design business from my dyeing business because they are very different. These are bold and they are flashy and they are adventurous and they are out there. And my designing is less so because I am trying to design things that people will actually wear. So I am dividing my design and my yarn business, and my designing is going to stay as Everyday Yarnworks, and my dyeing is going to be called Fearless Feet Fiber Company because I want you guys, my goal for dyeing is to go on an adventure with colors and to give you guys an adventure too. I want it to be bold and adventurous and new, and maybe try something that you haven't tried before. Try to make self-striping yarn and see if it works. Make socks. If you don't make socks, make socks. Have you tried self-striping yarn before? You don't know if you like it? Try self-striping yarn. If you're gonna try self-striping yarn, try it in crazy colors. Why not? Do something bold, be different, go on an adventure. And Everyday, like Everyday Yarnworks, does not cover go on a bold and exciting adventure. It just doesn't. So these are going to be the first Fearless Feet Fiber Co. update. And I'm so excited for it. You will not find these at Everyday Yarnworks. In a couple of days, I am going to be shutting down the yarn portion of the Everyday Yarnworks Etsy shop while I transition into Fearless Feet. And I'm super excited. And I think you guys can tell that probably. I'm so excited. Fearless Feet has been the name that I always wanted to be called if I was going to be a dyer. I've had it in my head for probably at least over a year now, as long as I've been considering dyeing or wanting to dye. And in true Ruth fashion, I was afraid to take the leap. So I'm doing it. I'm trying it. I'm jumping. If I want to have a bold name and bold yarn, I've got to try something new. I've got to take a leap. So I'm taking a leap. I'm transitioning to Fearless Feet Fiber Co. I will put a link to the Etsy store that is not there yet. I will link to the Instagram page. The Instagram page is up. I have not put pictures on there yet because I was waiting to announce to you guys in this podcast that I'm making the transition. And now if you are seeing this, when you are seeing this, I will have the Instagram up and running with all of this. I will have made the announcement on my other Instagram. Fearless Feet will be on Facebook. The page, again, the page is already made. I was just waiting to make the announcement. And I'm going to start transitioning over. And so I'm going to give it a couple weeks. I'll be double posting probably for a week or so, just so everybody has the time to realize that I've transitioned over. And then I'm going to be Fearless Feet Fiber Co., which is awesome. So that is the end of the knitting content. And now I'm going to talk a little bit about the bus update. So we raised the roof on the bus, which every time I say that, people are like, you raised the roof? Is that what you did? You raised the roof? Yes, we did. Literally, Clint cut off the top of the bus, cranked it up, and raised the roof. I have some video footage that I'm going to put in after I'm done explaining. I usually put bus footage at the end of the video so you guys can sort of just end on that note. And we raised the roof, and the floor is almost completely back in, the sheet metal. Clint's working on the door today because we are not going to use the bus door. And what else? Ooh, skylights. We put in skylights, or we're going to put in skylights. The back windows of the bus, Clint took out. So he, you know how a school bus has those big back windows on either side of the door? He cut out the back windows, and they're going to be skylights for us. So we're going to have these big, huge skylights in the bus. One above the couch and one above our bed, which is awesome. So we're going to be able to lay in bed at night and look at the stars before we go to sleep. And I'm so excited. I'm so excited. This is something that's transitioning from I think I could be okay with living in a tiny house in a bus to something that I'm really, really excited about. It's something about seeing the roof raised, having that extra space. It feels like a small house now. Instead of feeling like a school bus, it's actually starting to feel like a house. And the more progress that gets made on it, on the conversion, the more excited I get. Because we've never lived in a house of our own. We've always rented. And in where we are, in Philly, it's getting increasingly hard to find somewhere nice to live that doesn't cost an arm and a leg. And we've known that we don't want to live in Philly forever and that we want to be out of the city. And Clint has some health issues that are getting worse. And maybe it's just my mindset, but I do think that being in the city is making them get worse. Like, he's developed asthma. The man's 36. He's never had asthma in his life. And he went to the doctor yesterday and they said, yes, you do have asthma. So, and he quit smoking a year and a half ago. So get that, he quit smoking and then developed asthma. I don't know. But I do know that getting out of a city, guys, I'm gonna sound like such a hippie. Getting out of the city and getting out of the pollution and getting out into fresh air and open spaces and less pollution, that can only help asthma. I don't see how that could make asthma worse. He has celiac disease, which is, the symptoms are getting worse. And yes, we are gluten-free. And no, we're not gluten-free because we're hipsters. We're gluten-free because it's medical necessity. It's just time. It's time, and I think it's what's good for us, and it's what we need. And I am so excited to go on this adventure and to see all of these places that I've never seen, and to be in our own house. Because yes, it is our own house. It's gonna be our own house, even though it's small and even though it's a bus. It is our house that we're going to be in, and we can go wherever we want. That's amazing. It's amazing. Oh, real quick, I had a comment on the last video and a couple people are asking me, when we're in the bus, will I keep designing and will I keep dyeing? And the answer to both of those is absolutely yes. That's not going to change just because we're in a bus or just because we're on the road. It just means that I'm going to have to find a couple of workarounds for dyeing. But the cool thing is, because I'm a nerd, the cool thing is that because how the chemistry of dyeing works partially depends on the pH of the water, because I'm taking the dyeing on the road, my colors are going to come out different depending on where we are. What? So once we're on the road, I'm going to be marking my yarn with location information so you can know which batch it was. So if we're in Columbus, Ohio, and I stop to dye something, it's going to be like Columbus batch of yarn. Or if we're out west and it's gonna be like Santa Fe batch of yarn. It's gonna be awesome. So I might be dyeing the same colors and they might come out completely different because the pH of the water is different out there. And yes, I could get distilled water and I could have it all under control, but that's boring. I want to see what happens when I'm in different places. I want to see how different the yarn comes out. I'm super excited for that. So I think that's it. I'm at almost an hour. I'm going to put bus footage in for you guys. And yeah, the kids are still sleeping, man. Maybe I'll get to edit this and put it up tonight. Maybe, maybe not. We'll see what happens. Anyway, thanks for watching, you guys. Have fun watching the bus footage, and I will see you next time. Bye.
Like a bird on a tree, I'm just sitting here. I got time, it's clear to see. From up here, the world seems small. We can sit together. It's so beautiful, you and me. We meant to be in the great outdoors, forever free. Sometimes you need to go and take a step back